Good morning and welcome to PSJA Java Chat, your morning chat with your favorite PSJA ISD Instructional Technology Integration Specialist, where we discuss EdTech tools and trends with invited guests and, of course, our morning coffee.
In episode 8 of Java Chat, February's elementary district tech integrator Gracie Tapia shares how she started loving technology, her calling as a teacher, and the integration of both. She tells us about how amazing it is to see her students become digital learners and encourage them to be self-sufficient in all aspects of life and learning.
Hello everyone and good morning and welcome to our new episode of Java Chat. Today we are going to be interviewing and showcasing our amazing educator, Gracie Tapia from Sorensen Elementary. Good morning, Gracie.
Woo! Good morning.
Gracie, yeah, we're happy to be here with you too. Gracie was our integrator of the month for elementary for the month of February. So let's start with just a brief question about yourself. Tell us about your educational background. How did you start it with education?
How did I start becoming a teacher?
Yeah.
Well, this is barely my fourth year teaching. Even though I feel like I've been teaching for many, many years, I have not. This is barely my fourth year teaching. I did my student teaching actually at Sorensen Elementary. And I was with my mentor teacher, Miss Chavez, and she left. And I interviewed and I got her spot. But so many people interviewed. I know so many people wanted that spot because it was kinder, it was English, and it was just a sought after spot. And I got there. So thank you, Mr. Castillo, for hiring me or for choosing me, recommending me. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. So I went to school to become a teacher. I never changed my mind. And I graduated in 2019. And I'm actually in school right now for my master's.
Yeah, what are you studying?
I am getting a master's in education, diversity, social justice, and equity in education. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a mouthful.
It's a heavy, yeah, it's a heavy, like, the content is so heavy. It's hard.
Amazing.
Yeah, and this is my second year teaching first grade. I did 2 years in kinder. I love kinder. I love first grade, but I love kinder more. So yeah.
So how did you use a lot of technology, obviously, because we're selected as your integrator of the campus and then the district. How did you get into technology?
I think this sounds so cheesy, but ever since I was a kid, I was like a little techie because my dad, he used to work at TSTC and he was the director of the media center. So he always had like extra laptops, extra cameras, and we were never like video game kids. Like our parents didn't let us buy any video game consoles. But like I remember playing like the Mavis Beacon teaches typing, like when we were growing up. Yes. old. Well, for me it's old. And I don't know, it just always stuck with us. And I think me and my sisters, me the most. I think we all have just like an affinity for technology because we were just like what is it called, immersed into it like so young, but in the computer sense, not like like how we said like video games and not stuff like that, like computers. So I think that's how I got into it, and then I never let it go because it just makes things easier. I guess everything's just there, kind of like a phone, but phones are toxic.
You just reminded me of back of when AOL was like the thing when you said Mavis Beacon teaches typing, because I think they used to send the CDs of Mavis Beacon and AOL in the mail, and I was just like, I just had flashback right now.
Yes, when I was thinking of it, I think of it's like a bus, and you have to be typing the words and not like I don't know. I remember it very clearly. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, we're going to dive in a little bit more into your tech experience now. So I want for you to share with us your experience about using technology in your classroom for instructional purposes.
I think it's been a good experience. I mean, besides like the learning, the obstacles of, when things go wrong. Since my first year, I started using technology, of course, because I mean, that was like, but it was so different then, because back then when I first started, the students didn't have devices.
Mm-hmm.
So it was harder. The only technology we had was the board. Do we even have a new line board? I don't even remember. I don't think so. I'm like, when this happened? But we had I don't even think I ever got to use a projector, to be honest. So I'm not even sure what my first year was. It was a blur because that's the year we left COVID in March.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I would use the stuff where the kids would go up. They would use the dock cam, and that's as big as it got because they didn't have a device to play Nearpod or Kahoot, you know. Um, but it definitely. Sorry, my alarm's going off to take my vitamins because I forget everything. Um, but I think now that my whole class knows how to use everything that we use, like they're fluent in it. They know how to navigate everything, and it's not like a waiting game for them to like understand it. It's much more. It's easier, and I look forward to it more because before it was like a headache. Like these kids don't know how to do this. But they're little at first grade, so they're learning, and
Mhm.
I just give them to
So-
props for picking it up. And I think it's just fun for them to make everything like a game and a contest that like motivates them. I'm always like, oh, let's see whoever gets here first, like whoever can sign in first, email and password. Like I always have like a prize box. Oh, you're gonna get a prize. Top
Wow.
10 kids, like not the top three. I do the top 10 to
Wow.
with more kids. Um. So anyway, my experience has been good, I think.
That that's
But
a good incentive for
yeah,
them to start from, like, especially like for first grade to start typing and learning how to log
typing.
in.
Yes, and I have them do typing club now, so it teaches them how to place their fingers on the keyboard, like where their fingers belong. So I see them trying, and their fingers are like smaller, so their fingers are trying to reach the A or the A with their pinky, and it's funny, but they got it. They're picking it up.
Amazing.
And everybody loves incentives.
I
Everybody
know.
Helps
loves
with
it.
all that.
Oh, back in the day, 4 years ago, I was thinking about computers in your classroom. There at least were maybe one or two computers in your classroom.
Yeah, like the desktops.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Yes.
desktops, but no iPads. We didn't have iPads yet. And yeah, the first year I taught, it was 2019, 2020. So 2020 is when we left school. So I never had like a normal year. That's why I feel like sometimes I'm a new teacher because that year we left suddenly. Second year it was like 100% virtual, hard. And then last year everybody was all like COVID, like the mask, everybody was separated.
Coming back.
So this is
Yeah.
my first normal year.
That's good. We're
Yeah.
finally kind of back to that this
Whatever
year.
normal is. Right?
No
Yes.
year is normal.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So we know you use a lot of technology, like with your students, and that's awesome. What is your favorite tech tool that you utilize in your teaching? And feel free to tell us more than one if you have one or other ones that you use.
Okay, I hope this is a tech tool because my favorite thing is GoodNotes. I think it's like my Bible. Like my kids, I'm always like the GoodNotes app because like they use it too. And really the whole iPad. I know it's a whole device, but I have everything on there. I have the curriculum, I have the activities I'm gonna do, everything. Everything is on my iPad. And the all the scope and sequences that we have, the years in view. So when I'm replacing my teaks, I don't have to go into my computer, go to OneDrive, go to find or even the documents when we download on the computer, it's a mess because I have so many. So on my iPad, I have everything there. I just go to the iPad, look, change the kids help me change the teaks. Um, as long as I remember to charge my iPad, which I made it a class job. I made it a class
Perfect.
job because I thought smarter, not harder. I was like, okay, you're the one who's gonna remind me to charge the iPad and the stylus today. So, I think that's my favorite. I mean, I love Kahoot and Nearpod. Those are the two main ones I use. But I think GoodNotes, because even my kids use the GoodNotes and they already know how to work it, and they know that because you know how you can hide the interface and up there it's showing is just like what you're working on. It doesn't show like the writing tools. They already know how to navigate the one that's on the iPad. They already know how to do the highlighter, the pen. So
Great.
yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Great.
Yeah.
So you have them show their work as well and connect. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
so they're
Yeah.
doing their work, and I prefer it over sitting at the dock cam and stationary or at my desk. Yesterday I was sitting on a table crisscross, applesauce, and I had my iPad on, and I had my little speaker that they gave us. They gave us like those, those little microphones,
Uh-huh.
the best, right? And we're doing math, and I'm there. Da, da, da. They're like, "Why are you on the table?" I'm like, "Cause I'm comfy over here. Mind your business. You guys look that way." So I get to move around, and if the kid's not picking it up, or if I see someone struggling, it's easy for me to be helping them while I continue, and I don't waste time like getting up from my desk, going to check on them, So
Nice.
yeah, that's my favorite.
And that's what that's active teaching. It's about walking around and being in the power zone and being there for supporting you. That's the best way to use technology, or the way to use technology, pretty much.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And that's what we've been promoting. And good to see you again, Gracie.
Good morning.
And that's what, and kind of piggybacking off of what you guys were talking about, and Valentine was just saying, that's something we've been trying to promote at all grade levels, and we've seen it work really well at elementary, because they were the first of the grade levels to kind of get the iPads more so than the other levels. And so we're trying hard to kind of spread that goodness that GoodNotes has to offer. And the good thing about it is, I know you were saying, my files are a mess, they're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing I like about GoodNotes is that also I'm the same way. I'm the same way, but I like how you could take a photo of a worksheet, and then you can put it up on the board, and then you can annotate that way. So that's one of the good things for people like us who might have files all over the place and we don't know
Papers.
where we keep them.
Yeah, because I've been collecting like Miss Chavez, the teacher, my mentor teacher. She gave me, because she left teaching, she went to something else. She gave me all her month's activities, papers.
Oh wow!
She left everything. She said you can have it all. So I have January, March, April, May, but it's paper, and I make the paper for the kids, but I don't want to have paper, like going through paper. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I scan everything. I don't have enough My View books, and I don't have I don't have an extra one for me. So I scan the My View book pages, and I do it all from my iPad. And the GoodNotes is my most organized thing in my life, because it's for work. Everything else is a mess.
So you know there's a new thing that we started promoting that is called Lumen, which is for editing PDFs. So if you want to scan them and then share them in Google Classroom with your students, they can go and edit virtually, and you don't have to do any more copies.
Paper, no more.
I know. We can show you about it. We created a little training for it, and we're here. Yeah.
Hey, so Gracie, we're going from your favorite tech tool, and we're going to kind of go in an opposite direction here. What challenges have you faced when using technology in your classroom?
I just think that with every student, it's like a different experience, because you have kids who are like exposed to technology. They use it. They have a device at home. Their parents let them free reign on their laptops, computers, and then you have other kids who don't have those devices at home. They're not they don't have that prior background knowledge, so it's a little harder. And I think teaching them a new platform. At the beginning of the year, we started using Nearpod. They were like, "What is this?" The question popping up, and they didn't really know how to type well. They were, with their fingers, and it slows things down a little. But I mean, that's how it is every year in the beginning of the year. Everything is slower paced. Mm-hmm. They're getting into the routine of things. So also technology, computers, the Wi-Fi is super unpredictable. And it doesn't even have to be all the kids, but if it's a couple kids and my computer's not working, and I have a couple who get frustrated and cry, and I'm like, it's okay, calm down. If we can figure it out, you just get with the partner, we're gonna figure it out. I try to stay calm and open-minded, something's gonna happen, so I expect that something's gonna go wrong, and
part of the learning process.
Yeah,
for me and for them.
Because I'm you have to have a little patience, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But I love your confidence, how you're the way you're talking, you exude the way that you deal with the situations is amazing. So right now, if you think about how your students are doing at the beginning of the year, to me, think about it, you're in the transition grade. They're going from iPads to Chromebooks, starting to type. They're getting a little bit more comfortable within themselves as well as kids. So great job.
Yeah, and actually, I think no, did they start with no? That was last year. Last year, our kids had iPads in the beginning of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then they switched them to Chromebooks. And it was like in the middle of the year. Yeah, it was hard because they already had gotten used to the iPad, and
Mm-hmm.
then they all of a sudden had this computer in front of them with
Mm-hmm.
the key. You couldn't like touch everything. You had to, use sometimes sometimes the touch screen doesn't work. You had to type with this, and it just looks different. iPad and the computer looks different.
Correct.
Um, yeah, I think they finally got unlocked, but I still have those moments where maybe when they're taking a test, like some kids, I still have to print the test out for them. Like they can't do it on the computer, which is okay. I mean, we differentiate like lessons. We can differentiate the way they use the technology. So, yeah.
So we talked a little bit about your background already. And we talked now about your education and how you've seen technology. Now let's talk about your life. How has technology changed your view in life, your personal life? You think about now, right now in technology, like, because it's every day. We use technology every single day.
We use it every day, right? Well, I don't know. I do like that it like, I don't know, technology like allows us to have so much information. I told my kids that information, like at our fingertips. It's good. It provides us like connections to people, resources. I don't know. That's like my main form of communication sometimes with people, like family members. But I'm not gonna lie on this Java chat. In the personal life, I don't know. I think it's important to keep like a healthy balance. Time on your phone or your computer. I think I use technology so much at work that on the weekends I try to take a break from it. I try to not be on my phone so much. I try to pick up a book, try to read, try to tend to my garden. Um, but then I also use it for that. I use plant apps. Or I go watch birds. I use birding apps, like everything is, I use it in my, like non-technology life. So, I mean, it just reminds me to kind of stay in the moment because it's so crazy how everything is just like on our phone, like the good news, the bad news, and the bad news is depressing, right? So I try to stay off of it during the week. Because during the week I am always on the computer, or like I'm on Class Dojo. Class Dojo is like a school Facebook, right? Like the parents are messaging me, I'm checking the news feed, like so yeah, balance, I think.
Good. You need to unplug every now and then.
Yeah, because me and Rita, another first grade teacher, we were working on the yearbook and we were finishing up last week and we're on the deadline and we're just kind of like plugged to the computer, like up until Good Friday. Like Friday we were working and I was like, my eyes hurt. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't like been staring at the computer for so long, like working on something. And we were like tired, had a headache. I was like, this is bad. So yeah.
Awesome. So I know earlier you talked a little bit about your dad, and his job and how that kind of inspired you to teach and get into technology a little bit. Is there any other people or person in particular that helped inspire you to use technology in your classroom?
I guess not necessarily a person when it comes to the classroom. So I did go to the NTC, the new teacher thingamajigger. I don't know what the C stands for. I can't remember. It's been so long. And I remember them teaching us some tech tools, some like resources we could use online. But other than that, no, it's all me.
And that's okay.
I love it.
Yeah,
kind of self-learning. That's what we
I am
need,
myself inspired.
Yeah. So
I am woman, I roar.
That's right.
and this my second year. I forgot who was the CIT. Oh, it was Denise. She helped me a little bit because I was kind of like, oh no, I don't know if my kids can do that because I was so used to them not having a device, but then they got them and I was like nervous, but then she did help me get into it a little bit more. And then I did CIT for 1 year. Scary. Because it was the
You did
year
an excellent job as
it was the
CIT.
year of we were virtual, so it was like I was just tech support for everybody, parents and my coworkers, which I'm happy because that means they were like trying, but yeah, that year was a trip.
Well,
Yeah,
you
and
brought up a good
Yeah.
point because the CITs are an excellent resource for any
Yeah.
teacher at any
Yeah.
campus
Yeah,
for
for any,
instructional, help with
and
technology.
so were you guys. So were you, because I remember messaging you all the time too, because I was scared.
well, I'm glad that they went to you because I'm sure that that was a really great moment for you to learn a significant amount of stuff about technology. Probably not only software, but probably even hardware stuff. Because I know
Yeah.
even when I would go over to your class a few times last year, uh, we would have your team would be either
Yeah.
in your room or in Miss Lemus's room, and
Yeah.
we're all trying to figure this stuff out together. And
Yeah.
those were good times. But well, let me go on to the next question here. We all have some teachers. We all know of teachers maybe that we've met either at our school or a different school that maybe are set in their ways and they don't utilize technology in a way that could be more beneficial for not only them but their students as well. What advice would you have for a teacher that is reluctant to integrate technology in their classroom?
Hmm. Just do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think it's like never like an easy thing to like jump into, especially because I mean when I started teaching, well, like my cowork, like my team, they've all been teaching for longer than I have. Many of the teachers have been teaching longer than I have, so I always felt kind of bad like trying to like push it because I like, to me, I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're like a newbie, like they've been teaching longer than you. But I think that it's nothing is like easy or like laid out in front of you. Like you have to be willing to learn it. And the good thing is that like with your students, I mean, you can learn with them because I still learn from them stuff like Prodigy, that game that's on Clever. It's like a video game, but they're doing math and they're doing reading, and I'm like, I don't know how that works, and they're there. Look, this is how you do it, and they know the ins and outs of that game, but some of them still can't use Google Classroom. And I'm like, come on, guys. So I think if you look at it in a positive light, we just have to be open minded, willing to learn something different, many things different, because there's so many things you can use online. I know you guys lay out a bunch of stuff. Of course, you don't have to use everything, like maybe start small, like put in a Kahoot game here and there. One of my coworkers started using that because some of her kids have a hard time with technology, but she just kind of like slipped it in there once and they did good. So now she's using it more and more often. Um, and you guys, Debbie, Valentine, Marco, Zenaida, I think you guys have so many, so many videos already done. You've done trainings, you have these chats, everything. So ask for help, And I think there's always someone willing to help. Like I told you when I was doing the CIT, um, I felt like I was just on 10-hour tech support, but they wanted to learn. So I think
Yeah.
all the teachers at my school, I don't know about every school, but at my school, they always ask for help. And even though I'm not the CIT anymore, I still get like, Miss Tapia, can you help me with this? And I
That's
love to
awesome.
help. I love to help. So I'm glad that they still, ask for help. Um, so just keep an open mind. Try. You're not like alone learning. Like everybody had to learn.
Yeah.
Like how education changes, technology changes. We have to also be willing to change. So,
I like that. Moral of the story is it's okay to
yeah.
ask for help because even
Yeah.
as much as, people might think me, Debbie, and Valentine know we don't know everything until we
Yeah.
we ourselves ask people for help. And so I like that message. It's just like anything else in education, technology, we're lifelong learners.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was
And
just gonna say that, Marco.
yeah, that's what who told me that? Miss Urbina, Mr. Castillo told me when I was interviewing for my teaching job. They told me that, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna say that forever now. We're lifelong learners, and we just need to adapt. Like we expect the kids to adapt and learn, and in situations we also have to be willing to.
And the cool thing is that if they feel comfortable coming to you and ask you because they already know that you have some expertise in technology and they feel comfortable. Yeah. But if not, I'm going to plug in something, send them our way. We're here to support educators. And with that, I actually put the little link of our Instructional Technology YouTube page with our landing page with our playlists. So for those of you watching the recording, go to YouTube and just put PSJA Instructional Technology because you won't be able to see the chat right now if you're not here live. But on another note, we're going to conclude this with this question. So I want just to tell us about, because we all had those aha moments or those moments that were like, oh my God, technology was amazing. What's been one of your proudest moments using technology? And think about you as an educator. What has set you apart from other educators? What makes you, Gracie Tapia, the amazingness that you are?
Okay, first question. Excuse me, let me get water. My proudest moments, it's like a general moment because I don't know if I've had like just one, like, oh, you got it, like that I remember. But I think my students, like as a group, them just finally like it clicking and us having like a smooth transition, like typing their email, typing their password, getting into Google Classroom, getting into slides with no hiccups because I've had it done before. Many times, but the first time it happened, I was like, I didn't even say anything. I didn't call attention to it. I was like, yes, like they got it. Like nobody was like, I can't get it, like those like cries for help. And I think them just finally like now they know how to navigate Nearpod and Kahoot smoothly. Like there's no like I don't know the game pin. Like they already know it's up there. You type it, and using it efficiently because I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's hard for them sometimes because they're little, and that's in the classroom. But also aside from the classroom, I don't know if this counts. Like I told you, me and Rita were doing the yearbook, and the yearbook software. It was our first time using it, and it was hard. I was like, this is the font's boring. It looks lame. Like the graphics are so old school. And we were like, what do we do? And like, it was hard. And we're like, let's just do everything on Canva. So we did the whole yearbook on Canva, like the whole 85 pages. We did it on Canva. We did it like this. And it looks awesome, because Canva is so fun. And we know how to use it like the back of our hand. So shout out to Canva.
Love it. Love it.
Great
tool. The other part of the question, what sets me apart? I don't know. I feel like I'm like a hippie. Like I don't think I can like set myself apart from the other teachers. I think that we all do the best we can with what we can, and we're just trying to survive and teach these kids. And some people just have a different way of getting there, and that we just care about our students' educational success, their emotional health. At least I hope we all do. And I do. You guys know you walked into my room. I'm hoping teachers do this because I think it's just good, especially for the little kids, maybe even like older kids. I do tell my kids all the time, like, oh, I'm a star, like you guys heard them. You walked in and they're like, she's a star.
I
right?
loved it.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
So I do try to, like you said, you took the words out of my mouth, exude like confidence that like, oh, I know this, like, I can learn it. Even though it's hard, like I tell them like, oh, I don't know, like, let me look it up because I don't know everything, I think it's important to like humanize yourself in front of the kids, like let them know I am not like, I don't know, I'm not better than you. I think that's like the hippie in me talking, right? Because I'm like, I'm not like, and I think Miss Chavez taught me that. Shout out Miss Chavez. Like you want your kids to know like you don't know everything. And but I promise I'm not like that at home. I'm like super chill. I'm like an old lady. I just put that on for the kids because when they're confident in themselves, they're confident in their learning. So put that on the t-shirt.
Well said.
Amazing, Gracie. We want to thank you for the time that you had to spend with us this morning for this interview. If there's anybody that has any questions from our audience, go ahead, type in, unmute yourself, ask a question to Gracie. But we want to invite you also, Gracie. We sent an email yesterday for our 3rd annual virtual technology conference, and we want you to apply and send a proposal because we think you're amazing. We ultimately, I feel like what sets you apart is your charisma. You have huge humanity. Like you enter into your classroom and the love is there. You feel welcome. The students are happy. You're teaching those little ones key skills for the 21st century, and be ready. Those 2nd grade teachers have it easy now.
They're ready. My kids are ready. They're gonna be like, we already know this. Yeah. No, thank you.
You're really building up their self-esteem, which is so important as well.
Yes, I think it is. Because that's how my teachers were when I was in elementary. They were so awesome. I still remember all their names from elementary. Middle school, not so much, but elementary.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I said I stayed with my camera off, but I was listening to everything. Yes, Miss Gracie's amazing. I get to work with her, and I got to work with her at the beginning of the year a little bit more. Thank you, Miss Gracie, for your positive attitude and just your enthusiasm towards your students. I mean, it's really, we know and we hear about teaching right now, right? And we hear about how everybody is kind of going through that challenge of, coming back from pandemic and trying to restart everything and bring back everything that we had and more, right? But it's awesome to see you, because I always think that way, like, okay, we need to think positive. We need to, that negative, mindset is not going to help us right now. And I think, I appreciate that. And I want to thank you for that, because that's what we need. We really need that to keep thinking positive, keep moving forward. Our students are our students. They haven't changed from pre-pandemic or anything. They're still students, and sometimes it's not forgetting about what we were doing that was really good before, but now I think we're equipped with a lot more with technology, right?
100%. Yeah, all about changing, keeping up with the times. I hate saying it, but it's true. Like they already. Oh, and my tablet does this at home, and they want to show me. I'm like, okay, well, maybe we'll do it later. So yeah, I agree. It's the only way we're gonna get through the years, right? Because I think your teacher, mostly teachers teach forever, right? We're never gonna leave.
And that's great. That's great. That's what our babies need.
They need that positive attitude, because they're little sponges, and if we like Ms. Gonzalez was saying, I'm like, if we're positive, that's what they're getting. They're getting that positivity. Not only them, ourselves and the people around you. With that attitude, you change the teachers that are around you that might not be as positive anymore. So that's what we appreciate seeing in you, Gracie.
Yeah, I tried.
I told you it was all about you today.
Okay, thank you. I'm ready for the day. And you know what? Yesterday I had my the unannounced observation, and you know how that goes. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong, and I was like, I just took a breath. I was like, it's okay. Like, they're kids. I was like, but really, guys. Of course, the computers were not working. But
no.
Yeah, I got home and I was like, okay, it's just one day. Like, everybody has those days, Everybody makes mistakes. Okay, sorry, that was Hannah Montana. Anyway, thank you guys for having me. I have ADD, that's why. I'm like, the coffee is getting too much.
But you're drinking water.
I'm drinking a shot.